Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with Because Bitcoin. And today, for 10 minutes max, we are going to be talking about one of my favorites, KASPA. And I'm sure it's one of your guys' favorites as well, but there is a lot to catch up on. Basically, for 10 minutes, I just drop alpha on you and I do not exceed 10 minutes. So we keep them short, straight to the point, and deliver you everything that you need in 10 minutes. So KASPA has been on an absolute tear. For those that have been following me for a while on Twitter, you know that KASPA is one of my favorite projects. And that's probably the Bitcoin maxi in me. That's probably the reason for it. But we're not here to talk about the fundamentals of it. I have a surprise for you guys later this week. But let's talk about the technicals, guys. I mean, right now we are sitting at 18.3, 0.1823 to be specific. I think it looks like we hit 19 cents almost, but where we were aggressively accumulating was right here. Like right here, this was your concrete. And every time we dipped into this, we were shoving. We basically talked, I mean, at length, hours about how everybody wanted, this perfect retest down here, and they just simply were not going to get it. There's too much demand for KASPA, and if you get that perfect retest, it's not so perfect. You're not going to get this. And then, furthermore, people, they wanted this level as well. They're not going to get that as well. I think at this point, you can kiss it goodbye. The boat has left the dock. But I want to give you guys an update on some charts that you've probably seen me post on Twitter, because KASPA, in my opinion, has a lot further to go. All right. I think we are just getting started on this next move. So some of these charts may be familiar, but let's talk about them. So this is a fractal kind of guide that I made a long time ago. And I'm going to pull up what I've compared it against historically, which is Solana. And we'll get into it a little bit. But, one of the reasons I really felt the conviction that I did to, shove with size KASPA at basically under 11 cents is this fractal right here. And forgive me, I'm making this video a little bit earlier than normal. I'm going to drink a little bit of coffee. Was this 1.618? Now, let's throw up our comparison chart here, which is Solana. This is Solana from last cycle, okay? This is Solana basically from summer of 2020 all the way through the previous all-time high, November of 2021. I can delete this green box. But basically, just so you guys can see it, I'll extend the box a little bit. This is what we were looking at. I also took into consideration the market caps of both projects, where they've happened, and these are not the same. Fractals are never one-to-one. All right. But what we're looking for is the spirit of the move, the essence of the move. And what I noticed early on here with Solana, and if you guys can read this text, I know it's a little bit small on my big monitor. What I've noted here is that at the top, you have your first major swing high before a big sell-off. Same thing here with KASPA, big sell-off, and then first major swing low. So this is where we're going to draw our fib, okay? This is where we're going to draw our Fibonacci range, which will ultimately lead to our Fibonacci extensions, being the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618, which, by the way, for those that don't understand what it is, learn how to use it and look into like what Fibonacci is. I would say this, I don't use Fibonacci in a bear market as much as I do a bull market, because I have found that specifically in crypto, using fib extensions during an expansion period is one of the absolute hands down best ways to anticipate where there are high time frame levels that may be a little bit stubborn, or even call a global top. So let's look at it further. Side by side, right? These are different, but they're both reaccumulation patterns, okay? This is a bullish reaccumulation pattern during a sell-off or after a sell-off. Same thing here with Solana, okay? Again, one is down, one's up, but they're both bullish patterns, okay? So I drew my fib extensions here. I put on the 1.618 through 3.618, and look at how interesting this is here, guys. I'll just move this so you can see where the current price action is. Both of them broke out and flipped their 1.618 levels while they were between a 2 and a 5 billion market cap. The reason, again, just for those that need a refresher and don't follow me on Twitter as closely, the reason that I'm comparing KASPA and Solana is because Solana was like a blue chip, flagship project of last cycle. There's really no similarities between KASPA and Solana. I mean, why would we compare them? Well, why do we compare ETH against Bitcoin? Why do we compare Sol against random coins? Why do we compare BNB against CRV? We compare everything against everything. There's always a pairing. All right. But I believe from the research that I've done and have been presented with, KASPA has a chance of being the one of the flagship projects, blue chip projects of this cycle that we're currently in like inning two of. Okay. So I'm comparing it, and I'm making kind of my own version of like the Wall Street cheat sheet. Where are we at within this cycle? Where are we at right here within the KASPA accelerates to a top 10 by market cap fractal? You know, and I think that looking at something like Solana last cycle, how it became a blue chip asset, how it entered the sort of adoption mainstream phase of its cycle, I think it's very applicable, and we're seeing here it play out in real time. So again, we drew this out here. We've been watching this 1.618 hold as iron as concrete support. We've blasted off of that level. I think that the next level to look out for with KASPA is going to be this 2.618, which is at 35 cents roughly. That's between an 8 and 15 billion market cap, similarly to where Solana rejected from perfectly. I mean, look at that. Last cycle, Solana rejected perfectly at that $57, $58 mark, which was right at its 2.618. So what I would expect here is something similar with KASPA. We probably continue to just kind of grind and move up, hit the 2.618 at 36 cents. I would expect us to come back here, maybe retest around 20 cents, bounce a little bit, reaccumulate. Ultimately I expect this level to get flipped, and then I'll see you at the 3.618, which is at a $1.30. And funny enough, for those that are skeptical of, fib extensions, let's just look at Solana from last cycle. How immaculate is this? You can't make this stuff up. I didn't massage this. I drew this perfectly from the first major swing high before the sell-off to the major swing low after the sell-off. I didn't make this up, right? Like these aren't adjusted, it's perfect, 0.51, 1.6182, like it's just standard fib, standard Fibonacci extension. And I identified the key high and key low, and it did the rest for me. You just need to understand how to interpret it and use these tools. And look at how price respected it, right? I mean, this is incredible, right? To flip the 1.618, blast off, reject and reaccumulate under the 2.61. I mean, we rejected from this level perfectly. This was in price discovery. There's no price to the left of this. We didn't reject from like a previous cycle high up here, and we did something like this. There was no like previous, previous levels. We were in price expansion, price exploration, price discovery. We rejected perfectly from this 2.618. And then look at the global top guys. This is even more impeccable, right? You say, oh, well, it was, we entered an inflationary period. They printed too much money and then they had to raise interest rates. And that's why we topped. All that's true. But look, we topped almost exactly within like a dollar of the 2.618 global top. And we still haven't got that. That's still the global top, guys. I mean, we will get back up there. I have no doubt. But what are the odds, right? Like that's incredible. So keep an eye out for these fib extensions in a bull market. I've got a lot more work that I'm planning to share with you guys on some other fractals I'm watching. But obviously this today's episode of 10 Minutes Max is about KASPA. But anyways, just a quick update on here. But we are almost at the 10-minute mark, guys. Here's the deal, though. Jim and I are going to be making another monster KASPA video this week. All right. So that's coming out probably Thursday or Friday. So get excited for that. Jim is an absolute giga brain when it comes to KASPA. Really excited for that one. The last video did great. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This was 10 Minutes Max, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. I am Max, the CEO of Because Bitcoin. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you guys for the overwhelming support. Our channel is growing like crazy, and it's all thanks to you guys. Seriously, it's heartwarming, and we greatly appreciate your guys' support. Before we end it, if you could please consider liking and also subscribing, that would be absolutely fantastic. Again, we're growing so quickly, and it's really thanks to you guys. So please like and subscribe. Furthermore, check out the first link in the description below. That will take you to becausebitcoin.com/premium, where you can browse our premium services and also read reviews. We have a fantastic Discord right now. We spend 2 hours a day doing private live voice calls. So if you want to talk with me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team, 2 hours per day, get updates constantly on what we are doing, what we are seeing in the markets. Also see our active positions channels and premium analysis that we don't talk about really anywhere except for the Discord. Consider checking that out sooner rather than later. Prices are going up very soon because we are dropping our new flagship product called the BB Terminal, guys. When the BB Terminal drops, and by the way, the BB Terminal is basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto, guys. When the BB Terminal drops, it's going to be bundled together with the Discord. Discord's going up exponentially in price. So get in while you can. That's coming out very, very soon. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. And this was 10 Minutes Max, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. Take care, guys.